She didn't reject you, she rejected your approach. I think this is a big misconception that happens when guys are out approaching. And this is why they're so terrified of rejection, because they take the rejection as a personal attack to them. But the reality is, these girls don't know who you are. They aren't rejecting your personality because they don't even know your personality. They don't know you at all. They don't even know your first name typically. What they're rejecting in those moments is your approach, the way you've presented yourself, the way you've given yourself off to them in those moments. And honestly, guys, I'm speaking from personal experience of being the guy who could not approach girls at all. And if he did, I came off super nice guy, or maybe even sometimes a little creepy. And so I repelled women with my approach, not really with me, because I had so many like female friends, right? Telling me that, oh, you're perfect. Girls are gonna love you. They're gonna date you. You're gonna make a great boyfriend. And I'm always thought, but why don't you want to date me? Like, why are you just my friend? Why do I feel friend zoned all the time? And it's because I was too nice. And so when I approached, my approach would get rejected all of the time. Or worse, I would get the flaky number. I would get a number, or I get an Instagram and no responses to any of my texts, or very few. And I never knew what was going on. I never knew what was happening. And it was because I wasn't used to rejections enough, and comfortable enough in myself, and confident enough in myself to face enough rejections to actually meet girls who were my vibe, and honestly learn how to give better approaches. With a better approach, I can meet more women who actually want to meet me, who actually are interested in potentially going out with me. And then those numbers wouldn't be so flaky, because I've created a connection and a vibe with a girl that she thinks, okay, I actually want to see this guy and I actually want to set up a date with this guy. So when I give him my number, the logistics of figuring out the date is why I'm giving him my number. So I'm absolutely interested in having more of a long-term like potential with this guy. Like, I see myself actually going out with this guy. And that all comes from facing more rejection. As you face more rejection, your approach gets better. And as your approach gets better, you don't change that much. It's not about you being different. That's what too many dating coaches are pushing. It's not about being alpha when you're beta. It's not about looks maxing when you're ugly. It's about being yourself fully, authentically, and confidently, and approaching enough that you get desensitized to being rejected on your approach, because they're not rejecting you. Again, they're only rejecting the way you presented yourself in that moment. And you get better at presenting yourself in specific moments, whether that's at a bar or a club or at the mall or at the park or wherever you're meeting women. And then as you get better at that presentation, you get more women who can receive this better. They are receiving the approach better. You're getting less rejections, and then you're actually in an opportunity to connect with the girl and show a little bit more of who you are. And then if she rejects you, she's rejecting, okay, you're cool, like your approach was good, but this is not my vibe, which is okay. And the more your approaches get rejected and you get comfortable with that, the less you will tie yourself personally to the interactions. So when they don't go the way you're expecting them to go, or you don't get the date set up with the girl you thought you were going to go on a date with, it's not so heartbreaking that you then don't go approach for 6 months and now you're never going to have a girlfriend. So if you have big goals, if you are trying to get a girlfriend or meet the girl of your dreams, or just meet more women and build more confidence so you can be more social and have a more fulfilling social full life, and you're struggling with this, you can schedule a call at the link down below to work with me one-on-one, and I can show you how I went from being super antisocial to being way more socially confident, and I can help you do the same thing just as I've done for other men. And if this is something you're interested in, click the link down below. Otherwise, guys, be out there, be approaching, eat the rejections, because they're not personal. They're not about you. They're about the woman's perception of your approach in that moment. And once you realize that, it will not be so heartbreaking to get a rejection. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.